the interruption rule should apply to the entire interrupting force, so there won't be a shot from that machine gunner. I do want to point out something that happened here. So this guy was rushing up. He touched the edge of the river. The river is considered rugged terrain. As soon as he touches that edge, he loses 2 inches of movement, so he stops at 7 inches. He was spotted. Had this interruption been capable, he's in line of sight now with that machine gun nest over there and could have been shot at. But since no interruptions are going off this turn, we're done with interruptions. I'll keep moving stuff and then I'll take my shots. Okay, a couple of guys made it into the water. Some of them could not, because if you're prone, you get an additional negative to the movement. Let's see if I can pan up here and zoom in. So the ones with beads are spotted, but again, they can't be shot at because the interrupting force failed its role. So quite a lot of movement. Let's handle the firing now. All right, so the firing arc, with very rare exceptions, is 90 degrees, so 45 degrees left and right of the barrel. So pretty easy. Just give yourself a little triangle, place it on the barrel. Look, anything within that firing arc is covered by the weapon and can be fired upon. Now, there's only a 1 in 2 chance, unless on yellow or red ammo, which we'll cover that if the situation emerges, but basically there's only a 1 in 2 chance of getting off the shot in the first place because of the fleeting nature. Now, the thing that works to the advantage here is this is all direct fire weapons. None of these guys have moved, with the exception of the platoon leader making a radio call, so this might cost him. He had to check to see if he making that call was spotted. And he had a 7, but his situation was different. Let me take a look at hiding here. Hiding. 7 or better on D6, which he got. He's not rushing, not walking. He was stationary, so he gets a +1. He had cover, so he gets another +1. Yeah, he's fine. The late rain actually factors, yeah. So he gets +2 pips no matter what, and that's a success. So he remained hidden. So even though those guys moved up and could potentially fire, 50% chance of each, not going to happen simply because the figures that they're firing upon are completely hidden at this point. So buku movement to the front, the U.S. forces see them, but they aren't able to see the U.S. forces. No movement on this side. Interesting. Now we'll probably move on to the admin segment. Gut checks. So gut checks don't apply at this point. Delayed deployment. We don't have our figures yet coming on board. Those were turn 2, weren't they? Yeah, I'll get some militia here in a second. That'll be interesting. Stealth roll. So each figure makes a stealth roll now to resume hiding. So those figures, we get to take off the visible markers, potentially. Right, so during daylight, a non-hidden figure returns to being hidden if the figure is stationary for 1 turn and does not fire. The figure need not be prone. This rule does not apply to vehicles. During darkness, we're not darkness, so none of this, so none of them are returning to being hidden. So we're now in turn 2. Those 2 militia figures will appear, but they appear at the admin segment. The artillery fire, oh, look what happened there. I wasn't even paying attention, really. That artillery fire is going to come in during the communist movement portion of the turn, which now we need to figure out who activates what and therefore who gets to go first or defer. Free forces, the platoon leader is within 6 inches of at least one element of the platoon. So this gets bumped up to a 3. Communist forces get a 3 as well, but it gets bumped up to a 4 because, again, oh, the real figure is not. I did not move him up, therefore he does not get a bonus. So we got a tie situation here. So we must dice off again. This makes it easy. So communists get a 1, free forces get a 2, which gets modified to 3. And in this case, the commies get to activate nothing. They get to activate nothing during this turn. So there will not be a communist movement phase. So that artillery fire, what happens? I guess we're going to say it happens after the allied phase here. What can I activate? With a 3, I can only activate a buddy team or cell. The buddy team that I choose to activate is absolutely going to be these machine gunners right here. Can they interrupt though? Their machine gunner down there does not have through those trees. Well, he does have line of sight, but this guy will get benefit of hard cover if I engage from there. Same thing down here, so I've got another machine gunner that can concentrate. So it's a machine gunners versus, yeah, these machine gunners are going to fire. The machine gunner is going to fire. His AG can fire as well. They're going to concentrate their fire on the recoilless rifle figure, and when they fire, they will become unhidden. As soon as one figure becomes unhidden, the enemy will get a chance to interrupt and do an interrupting fire and see if they can get off some shots. Let's see how it plays out. So I'm going to be a little sneaky here. I'm going to have the assistant gunner actually start off by shooting at the recoilless rifleman. So first, let's see, does he become unhidden when he does that? 7. Let's look at the hiding rules here. Hiding. 7 or above. He's got a 7. He's not rushing. He's not walking. He's staying stationary, so that gets bumped up to an 8. And the light rain bumps it up to a 9. He is good to go. So he's going to be able to take his shot and remain hidden. What about this guy? He gets a 7, and he's been stationary. Same situation. So both of them are going to remain hidden and be able to take their shots. Now there's a 1 in 2 chance. So evens, I'm going to let that guy fire. He's going to be able to fire. What about the machine gun? He is not going to be able to fire. So he doesn't get a clear shot. But the AG does get a clear shot at the recoilless rifleman, and we're going to resolve that now. This is getting exciting. Here it is. Fire rolls 2d6, consults the chart below. A score equal to or greater than the target number of 7 is required to hit. The roll may be modified by up to plus or minus 3 pips depending on circumstances. So we're looking at, in this case, an M16, which is considered rifle full auto. The range to that target is probably 9 to 16 inches. Let's find out. This is not a pre-measurement kind of system. So let's see. Let's get 12 to there. Oh, that's going to be long range. Yeah, that's going to be about 19 inches. Rifle, full auto, 17 to 24 is long range. So he's going to take a long range modifier. Modifiers. Firer is hidden, he stayed hidden. So firer is hidden, so he gets a +1 to his roll. He's stationary, so he gets a +1. He's actually prone, so it's actually a +2. So he's up to +3 pips already. Target couldn't move, so target would be considered stationary, so he's +4. And firer is long range. Target is long range, so -1. Yeah, it's going to be +3 at this roll. So he needs 7 or better with +3. He gets a 6 with +3. That's going to be a hit. Now here's where it gets interesting. Damage from small arms fire. Each figure has a number of hits to kill. Again, going back to like role-playing games, each figure has, in this case, I'm going to say that recoilless rifle dude is probably a rank 2 figure rank. He's a grunt at least. He could be rank 3, in which case he'd have 2d6, but we're just going to give him 1d6 +1 hit points. Damage. The modified to hit roll was a 7. The figure is usually wounded in action. The modified to hit roll was between 7 and 11. So 6 plus 3, because it was +4 -1. So 6 plus 3, so it's a 9. The figure suffers 1d6 HTK. However, there's bonus damage because this is a light machine gun. So light machine gun also does +2. Small machine gun SMG does +1. Light machine gun +1, and HMG does +3. So +2 to the damage. So I'm gonna roll 1d6 +2. 4 + 2 is 6. That dude only had 2. It was a foregone conclusion once he had so few hit points. So this guy is KIA. And that is the first casualty of the game.